This is like doing graffiti on paper times 1,000. If I got into graffiti using this video game, dude, I would be way ahead of my time. What's up everyone, I'm Previado and I am a professional graffiti artist. Every day being a graffiti artist and going to work is really just pushing the boundaries. I wake up, I go into my studio, start drafting, start designing, I start brainstorming. And what a lot of it is, for me, is brand strategizing and just trying to build more work that could just reach a wider audience. I haven't played video games, dude, since I was like 12 years old. And this will be my first time ever trying VR. Very few times do I actually get to do raw graffiti, and this time I get to do it VR style. So, I don't know, I just want to do raw graffiti and have fun. So pretty much what I'm seeing right now is a color palette. So I like to start with a nice gray. So let me look at the tips they got. So they got pink dot, which is a real nice fat cap. This is actually one of my favorite fat caps. That's pretty lucky. Fat cap, what that does is it'll give the paint a wider spray. So for covering big areas real fast, this is really good. This is a thin cap. I'll use this tip when I'm outlining my piece to get nice, clean, thin lines. I am going to start out with my favorite, the New York fat cap. This is my all-time favorite cap. It hurts my hands after a while, but this cap is good for just getting started. It has a nice hard edge around the spray, so it gives you like nice solid lines. So I'm going to do is there like a setting where I can make myself taller? They should totally put that in the game. So there's my G, dude, this is so tight. To be quite honest with you, this is pretty spot on, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna front with you. Like, I feel like I'm actually painting. As far as like spray paint reality and virtual reality, I would give this a 10 out of 10. I'm pretty much mapping out my letters and blocking out big areas and just laying paint onto the wall. Get the structure of my piece going. Yeah, I could see myself using this game like at home to get like a real good like practice run, like a test run. Now people could experience the thrills and adrenaline of doing street art without having to risk the actual consequences of doing this. Funny too, because actually being on this time restraint kind of feels like reality, like when you're hitting like an illegal yard, because any moment you could be ran out by cops. The pressure I'm getting from doing this is the real pressure I feel like I get when I'm painting. This is the outlining part. This is personally my favorite part of doing graph, because even though we're still in like the beginning stages, this is the part that's gonna bring your piece to life. Oh, what I love about this too is like, so in reality, we're always limited on paint. It's always like, dude, I only brought one black, so I have to like really spend it wisely. Oh, you could even flare in here. Dude, that's so sick. I just did that on accident. So flaring is when you hold the can towards the wall at a certain angle, and it'll go from like real thick, like how it's set, into like real thin. That's so cool that the game actually did that. I think they should definitely create a feature where it would be super sick, where if you could grab crates and then stack them up to make yourself taller. That's what we do in real life too. Start adding some color into this. I'm adding color to my 3D to make it pop and just give it more of that effect like it's actually coming at you, and just like defining the areas of what's the piece and what's sort of like the background or like the dimensions. To me, this is like doing graffiti on paper times 1,000. If I got into graffiti using this video game, dude, I would be way like ahead of my time. All right, so now I'm gonna add my glares, which pretty much will be opposite of my dimensions to make it look like if my piece was like moving through space. So now I'm gonna do core shadows. So how I have my highlight in the piece, I'll add a couple core shadows, which is like pretty much the opposite. Dude, this is so much fun. It really is. Every graffiti writer or every artist has like their own personal signature thing that they do. For me, that's these things called space rips, and it makes it look like there's like a galaxy behind my piece. It's crazy, man. I feel like I'm actually painting as far as like my physical body-wise. Like I am sweating like as if I was actually in a tunnel right now. And like my arm is getting tired as if I have been holding a, you know, a three-pound can. I'm just gonna add my signature. Dude, I think it came out really good. I think it came out sick. It's pretty realistic. It's actually really realistic, so yeah, I think it came out really cool. I think this game is like spot on. I think this game is 100% like a hit. The reality of it, the VR to like real life painting was pretty on point. I think they did a really good job.